Yesterday we were planting roses. Now you're in this bed. They say when life slows down.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Do You Know What the Fuck You're Doing? And we are here today with my friend Val.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us, Val. So we're just going to get started. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your hustle? What do you do?
Girl, yes. So I am the lead singer of a band called Pleasure Train. I've been the lead singer of Pleasure Train since 2014. Love those guys, Will Berger, Andrew Gaber, Richard Fiegel, and Michael Paquette, who is my husband. We are in that band together.
And you also do some DJ work, right?
So I was doing DJing. I had a little DJ run, I had my own radio show for this radio called Dance Group Radio. It was great and I loved it. But it takes a lot of time. It just got really tiring and with my my actual career and profession, I just didn't have time for it anymore. So
you had to go through your DJ phase.
Yeah, it was so cool, but
and I think that there are a lot of 23-year-old white men who also understand what it means to go through a DJ phase. So, yeah. And you're also a lyricist at Pleasure Train, right? You're not just the lead vocalist, but you write the songs as well.
Yes, thank you, Annie.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure you were gassing yourself up correctly.
Yeah, I write all the lyrics, I write all the songs. But in general, we have a very collaborative effort when it comes to writing the music. So.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, so big question. Do you know what the fuck you're doing?
I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. I have no clue what I'm doing. We tried to have a manager. We tried twice, and the people were just never as dedicated as we were. So you really have to go in-house with that, because who's gonna have more of a passion to get you what you want than yourself. I have been the manager essence of our band.
You're the woman, you're doing a lot of emotional labor for the band.
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm doing, I can read all the blogs and stuff all day long that tell me what to do, but I'm really just focused on creating the best music that we can create together. And as long as I'm continually seeing growth in what we're putting out, and we're still having that bond when we make music together, that's what's important to me, and that's where I think I do know what I'm doing, because that's what I focus on.
I think that's kind of the conversation I've had with every single artist is, we obviously get into this because we find being creative to come very naturally to us, and the whole part where we're understanding algorithms on Spotify and figuring out how to craft a pitch, that's obviously not what we're good at, or we would be doing that instead. So, yeah. But it sounds like you're putting in the work of trying to understand. So
yeah, I'm trying to understand, but I also think in the world we're in, putting your music online in being really proud of that music is also as important, but it also comes with a price. It's very expensive to record your music. I'm struggling, so so trying to have to navigate all that. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make good music and hope it comes to me one way or another.
Between the emotional energy that you put into being creative and the emotional energy that you put into talking about yourself in third person in an email and gassing yourself up, which to me is the most mortifying thing. I can't say good things about myself. When I write a bio for myself, it's so lukewarm. It's basic facts about me. It's Annie Stokes is a Caucasian female with a daughter, and she likes houseplants, and she can kind of sing. I'm just literally writing the missing persons sheet for when I finally get kidnapped when I'm touring alone. Well, it sounds like you have talked about what you don't feel confident doing. It's you've also told me what you do feel confident doing, which is being creative and putting out work that you're proud of. Yeah. And I honestly think if that's the pillar of everybody's creativity and everybody's career, not that we couldn't all use massive tweaks from paid PR specialists, but you have the solid foundation. On to our next question. How do you deal with FOMO culture? Because a huge part of why I decided to make this is because every time I log on to Instagram, I feel like I'm watching all of my peers blossom, while I'm meanwhile cleaning baby puke off of everything I own. Yeah. But then I talk to said peers and they're kind of we're just all kind of winging it.
Are we talking like musical peers or just in general?
I was talking musical peers, but also in general.
Okay. Yeah, no, the musical peers FOMO has been something that like I've had to like literally teach myself to not give a shit. For the longest time, I was seeing other people like, you know, get venues that I wasn't getting or get bills that like we weren't getting. And you want to be like happy for other people, and I always am, but it would like really like it would bother me. It would make me super insecure. When I went on stage, I would be insecure with like my voice. When we did recordings, like it made me second guess so much about myself.
Right.
And I'd rather be happy, and so my happiness is more worth the FOMO.
I really struggled with FOMO before all of this happened because I had just had a baby. So from the time I was about 4 months pregnant to obviously when I gave birth, I was only doing like solo shows at wineries, and I wasn't doing full band shows, and I was working in the studio on an album, but I was very much like in hibernation. And then I had a baby, and right around the time that we were starting to play live again, COVID happened, and it was devastating in a lot of ways, but it was also kind of a reset button for me to be like, okay, I can finally not have this scarcity mindset of competing with my peers because we're all stuck at home.
Yeah.
Again, I want to reiterate that doesn't make COVID a good thing or like worth all the bad things that have happened.
I hate the fact that we feel like we are all competing, you know?
Because we're not. Because if there's somebody in our industry who does really well in our scene, then it elevates the scene. And DC has really good musicians, but we're not Nashville or Los Angeles or New York City.
No.
We don't have a self-sustaining music industry here. So if we have successful DC musicians, then all of a sudden we have a better industry. So in a way, being competitive with your peers is like shooting yourself in the foot. You've answered some really good questions. I had more questions, but you, with your very like spanning, encompassing answers, kind of just covered them all. So thanks for talking to me about how you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But I also would like to say, Valerie, that you know more than I think you do, because you gave some really good answers today.
I've given up.
No. I think it's to pull back the curtain a little bit, and to everybody out there who is feeling like everybody else knows what's going on, that simply is not the truth. And if we do have nuggets of wisdom, I would like to share them with you, because the more the merrier.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I just want to say before we end this that you have the only COVID bangs I've seen that look so good.
Oh my God, really,
yes, honestly, bangs can be such a hit or miss, especially since we just got past a new moon. Like, I would never recommend. I cut my bangs during a new moon when I was in my first trimester. Horrible decision.
So you were my inspiration for these bangs.
That means honestly more to me than many of the compliments you've given me in this conversation. Sylvia and I are going to say bye-bye, Val. And thank you to everybody out there who's also wondering, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
See you guys next week.
Bye.